welcome back. This is Deja with Twisted Sisters Mojo. And it has been a hot minute since we posted a reading. So I figured, since I have some time before I have to go into work, I would go ahead and knock one out. I'll probably be doing another one tomorrow because I probably am not going into work tomorrow because of Hurricane Isaias. It's probably just going to hit us as a tropical storm, but we'll see. God only knows. It's Virginia. It's coastal for Virginia, so our weather changes at the drop of a hat, so we'll figure it out. The topic of today's reading is, let's see. Okay. I've been getting this question a lot over the past couple of weeks. It seems as though a lot of folks out there are dealing with spiritual questions. Are they on the right path? What are your spiritual gifts? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those two questions, combine them, and see what the cards have to say. So the topic of today's reading is, what are my spiritual gifts, and am I on the right spiritual path? Please excuse the bra strap and the really funky colored hair here. It's been a while since I've given myself a dye job. So yeah, my hair's got like 4 different colors going on right now. But I've been lazy and just haven't felt like dealing with it. So, and I might actually let it completely fade out and maybe go with a bright blue. I haven't decided yet. Anyhow, so let's get into it. Am I on the right spiritual path? What are my spiritual gifts? Do I have any spiritual gifts? So, let's go ahead, and as usual, we're going to divide the deck up into different piles. We're going to go pile 1. We are going to go pile 2. We are going to go pile 3 and pile 4. What are my spiritual gifts, and am I on the right spiritual path? So let's hit it. If you picked pile 1. All right, so what we're looking at here is we have the Page of Cups. We have the 3 of Swords. And then we have the 4 of Wands. What are my spiritual gifts? What the cards and what Spirit is telling me is that you as an individual, you are very much in tune with your intuition, with your spirit guides, with your ancestors. And you are also, because you are so in tune with that part of yourself, part of your spiritual gift is going to be helping others to heal. It is also going to be good for you to get into the art of divination, whatever form that takes, whether it's the cards or tea leaves or palm reading or numerology or astrology or whatever have you. Divination in some form is going to be very important in your spiritual growth. Are you on the right spiritual path? Absolutely. So whatever it is that you are doing spiritually, keep that shit up. Keep pushing forward on that. Don't let yourself become too overwhelmed. Now, because of the aspect of the intuition and the water element playing so heavily in your spiritual path, one of the things that you need to really practice and learn about is shielding and protecting yourself, because you don't want to become a spiritual sponge or an energy sponge for everybody else's garbage. So learning how to shield yourself from unwanted energies is going to be important. And also spiritual cleansing. not only of yourself, but of your personal space. And if you get into the healing aspect, you're going to want to know how to work healing energies for others. So if you picked pile 1, definitely you're leaning more on the water side. Excuse me. It's not the corona. I just took a corona test. I don't have it. So you're going to really want to work on your intuition. That means tapping into your crown chakra. It means tapping into your third eye chakra, working within that realm. Also, because you are going to be doing healing work, a lot of your past traumas you're going to need to heal within yourself. So working on your heart chakra is going to be very, very important going forward in your spiritual path. So if you have picked pile 1, those are some ideas that you can work on. And yes, you are absolutely on the right spiritual path. So, all right. So if you have picked pile 2, all right. So in pile 2, we have the Page of Swords up in its reverse. We have the 5 of Swords up in its upright. And we have the Queen of Wands in her upright position. So we're looking at what I consider to be someone that works well within the air element. So working with the air element, you're working on a higher intellectual level as far as, whereas that didn't sound right. I don't want to say higher intellectual level, on a different elemental level than someone that works with water. So a lot of weather magic is going to be something that you're very adept in. Also, you're going to, I would say, because you're working within the realm of swords, dealing with deities that have that warrior strength, that have that element about them. But also part of something else that you're very good at is you're very in touch with the earth. So any kind of earth magic is going to work well with you. So look at some of the deities that encompass those types of energy, the warrior aspect and also the nurturing aspect. I wouldn't say divination is something that is like imperative to you to do, whereas it would be with a water sign. I would say that given what I'm looking at, working with the earth energies, working with earth magic, crystals, herbs, oils, things like that are going to be very good for you, and also very much empowering and pushing your spiritual path forward. Are you on the right spiritual path? Spirit is telling me that someone out there is a little bit lost and does not know where to begin. When you are starting out your spiritual path, or you feel like you have become stagnant or hit a roadblock in your spiritual path, it's always good to take about 4 steps back and go over and review some of the basics that you have learned, and work on improving those skills and those energies. Spirit is also telling me that someone out there needs to work on all of their chakras, starting with their root chakra. So chakra work, earth magic, working with warrior type deities, deities of protection, deities of strength, deities that carry that hit 'em hard aspect, and hit 'em hard and protection energy. And because you are dealing with protection energy, working on protection spells, working on protecting your property, protecting yourself. All of those things are really good for you and are also going to help elevate your spiritual path a little bit. So that's if you picked pile 2. If you have picked pile 3, okay. Oh, interesting. All reverses. We've got the King of Cups all up in its reverse position. We have the Hanged Man in its reverse position. And we also have Justice up in its reverse position. The first thing I'm seeing as far as on a spiritual level is that if you've picked pile 3, you need to be prepared to sacrifice things that no longer serve you, no longer are going to push you forward on your spiritual path. I just went blank. Pushing forward in your spiritual path. Okay, bring it on back. I just got my head centered again. Pushing forward in your spiritual path. And part of what you are going to be sacrificing is a bunch of this emotional baggage that you've carried that is no longer important to you, that no longer defines who you are as a person. Spirit is telling me that there are people that are going to be watching this that are young and that are just coming into their spiritual path, and you're going to have to put away all of your preconceived notions, the way that you were raised, and be able to say, you know what, this is who I am spiritually, this is what calls me spiritually, and while I respect that you may not agree with it, this is who I am and who I strive to be. So for you, if you've picked pile 3, setting your boundaries is going to be very important on your spiritual path. Also, because you do have some water mixed in with it, is that you need to trust your intuition. You need to trust what your ancestors are telling you. You need to open up your spiritual ears and allow that connection to go through. For you, I feel that meditation and meditative breathing are going to be very important on your spiritual path. And the thing is to, because some of you are starting off new, you need to kind of put your ego aside a little bit and maybe learn from people that have more experience. So intuition, magic, water magic is going to be good for you as a practitioner. Storm magic. And maybe I've just got storm on the brain because we've got one coming and I'm a water element, so I'm all up in that. But I would say that as far as whether or not you're on the right spiritual path, I feel very deeply that the path that you've set your foot on is not going to be the path that you stay on. I really feel that you've come into this path and you have an idea of what it's supposed to be. And over the next few years, your path is going to really do one of these numbers all over the place. But you know what? That's okay. The more you learn on your spiritual journey, the more information that you have to help others on their spiritual path. So, are you on the right spiritual path? You've set your foot on the correct path, but where you're going to end up is not what you're expecting. So, but don't let that discourage you. I mean, just keep plugging away. Read. Watch YouTube videos. Network. If you have occult stores in your community, get out there and talk to these people and get some contacts. So don't let yourself don't let yourself get discouraged. So, all right. So that's if you picked pile 3. If you have picked pile 4. If you have picked pile 4, let's see, pile 4. Okay. Earth and water. Oh, right. And swords. We've got the 10 of Swords up in its reverse. We have the Wheel of Fortune up in its reverse. And we also have the Page of Coins up in its reverse. So we're looking at a good mixture of swords and earth, and I like to look at the magician as water because he is such a spiritual, powerful person. So are you on the right spiritual path? Hell to the yes. You are not lost. You may be a little overwhelmed, but you are not lost. You are definitely on the right spiritual path. What are your spiritual talents? The first thing you have a lot of spiritual talents, a lot of latent spiritual abilities that you have not tapped into. One of the things that is holding you back from tapping into that is being able to, how do I want to put this? Distance yourself emotionally. And I know that sounds weird because our emotions are very much tied up into who we are as spiritual beings. But for you, you have to be extremely careful, especially if you're leaning towards being a healer or someone that is into the divinatory practices. You have to be able to do what you do and still maintain an emotional distance between yourself and your clients, between yourself and the people that you're working on healing, allowing yourself to become too immersed emotionally in your spiritual path or the people that you're working with is going to be way too much for you to handle. So I think it was pile 1, if I remember correctly, pile 1, we talked about being able to shield yourself and protect yourself from everybody else's energies and the energies of a room. So for you, shielding is going to also be very important. One of the things that Spirit is telling me is that you, as far as spiritually, don't try to take on too much information at once. I feel that someone out there has their fingers in like 7 or 8 different things at one time. And what you need to do is pull that back and focus on one thing at a time. So let's say that you are interested in learning tarot. Then learn the tarot. If you're interested in learning a specific type of magic, focus on that type of magic. Once you've mastered that or have a decent grasp on that one particular thing that you're trying to study, you're trying to learn, then awesome, perfect. That's what you need to do before moving on to the next area. So for you, bringing your focus into one thing at a time is going to be very important for you on your spiritual path. You do have, it does seem like there is a connection with the element of earth. So anything that has to do with the earth element is going to be something that you excel at. So look into those things that are connected to the element of earth and begin to explore them. But again, take it one thing at a time. Don't try to do too much. Are you on the right spiritual path? Yes. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. You wouldn't be on YouTube. You wouldn't be Googling things. You wouldn't be buying books or decks or whatever the hell have you, or setting up altar space if you weren't on the right spiritual path. So, all right. So that has been, am I on the right spiritual path? And what kind of spiritual gifts or what am I good at? This has been Deja with Twisted Sisters Mojo. Please, please do us a favor. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And we will see you guys on the next video.